All right, everybody, it is day 2 of Chipotle Bowl Chess. Getting to 2,000 ELO on chess.com every single day until we get there. Let's do it. All right, we're gonna play one 15-10 game today, and we're gonna win that sucker. Let's make it happen. All right, looks like we got Leozzi, a 1700. Good luck. We're gonna play the English. All right, I'm gonna try to explain my moves as well as I can. He's gonna play the King's Indian setup, which is where he puts the bishop there. He's gonna play d6 at some point, very likely, unless he plays the Grunfeld, whatever it might be. So when he plays this King's Indian setup, we're gonna play what's called the Botvinnik variation of the English, which is characterized by this c4 move on move 1, as well as an e4 move right around now. So we're gonna play this, and you'll kind of see how the structure develops, but in general, our goal is going to be to push our f-pawn up the board quicker than he is able to push his f-pawn down the board. So we're gonna put the knight here. The knights on these squares in the English is my favorite kind of setup. Even when the pawn is only pushed to e3, and then you can push d4 and kind of have a center break, having the knight here is just in general really comfortable, and it's my favorite way to play. So this move is, it's strange. I don't really know where he's trying to go or what he's trying to do. He's probably trying to reposition to there. I'm not really too concerned about it. So I'm just gonna go castling, and again, trying to get this f4 move in before he gets f5 in. That's kind of the goal of the Botvinnik, is I wanna beat him to the punch there. So he's doubling up. He's doubling up on this pawn. I have 2 defenders. I'm not really too worried about it. What happens if I just kick him out? What happens if I just kick him out? He'll probably run back, and then he's targeting this. Then I can back it up with this move, and maybe that's okay. If I do this, though, he could go here, which would actually be really annoying. So I don't want to do that. So first, I will probably go here, which is a move in the Botvinnik that we're going to want to do anyway, making sure not to lose this pawn. Moves the queen there. Again, not 100% sure what he's up to. I'm probably going to kick him out now. I think that everything should be fine. I need to keep an eye on the fact that this is now not defended by a pawn. So if he does something like, I don't know, like a this or something, this is definitely, worrisome. So again, he's attacking this pawn. So I'm going to go here, just kind of taking a lot of space, trying to, defend all my pieces. Probably the next move that I'm going to make is this. I imagine that at some point he's going to play e5. That's a very King's Indian-esque move, especially at my level. That's what a lot of people play in these variations. So just to get ahead of the curve, again, because I really don't want to lose this knight in a dumb tactic. So I'm just gonna play this, defending the knight, getting these bishops to eventually stare at each other. Okay, so he's gonna play the double fianchetto setup. I'm honestly fine with this. So here, now it's gonna be time to strike. I'm gonna get my f4 move in, and we are going to try to get this to f5. He lets us push this forward. He lets us get to f5, but I'm honestly going to wait to push f5 until he tries to break on d5. That probably looks like a good move for him, but actually, in the Botvinnik setup of the English, getting this f5 move is really, really strong. So I'm just gonna kind of bide my time here, I think. What else can I do? I'll probably just defend this bishop. Again, making sure that no tactics can sort of break through. I imagine that some sort of central pawn break, whether it's e5. Yeah, neither of us really want to go for this. Where I go from here is definitely a little bit unsure. I'm going to play h3, lining up g4. Again, just really trying to bolster this move into f5. I'm only gonna play f5 when I'm sort of asked to, but I'm going to play this move g4 now because he's really just letting me take a lot of space. This opens up the square for my knight to jump to g3. He's really just dancing around. I have no clue what he's doing. Eventually, I do want to get in this f5 move, but I worry that he will immediately follow up with this. Let's see what happens if he decides to do that. If he immediately follows up with e6, if I take, that's kind of a bad move. He gets an open line on my rook on the f-file, and I really don't want that to happen. So again, I'm really just going to try to wait it out and see if I can bait him into playing this e5 break. But he seems to know, what he's doing. So let's jump this in here. Let's jump that in there, kind of protecting this square. So if I ever go for the knight break. All right. So now here's what we got to be looking for. This is what he was planning this whole time. If I do something like this, what happens? He would immediately take, probably, here, and then lining up this. That's not what I want at all, right? That's just not what I want. So maybe going here. Again, trying to bait some sort of F move in. Going here would probably force him to take with the knight. It would actually force him to take with the knight. Or else I get this move in. So then after he takes with the knight, I can push, I can actually take away from the center, which isn't really the proper way to do it, but it would really lock his bishop out of the game. It would make it really annoying to get his bishop into the game. So that's actually what I'm going to do. We're going to go for this move. Again, making sure to pay attention to the fact that the bishops are going to be staring at each other after he probably takes this. He's not going to want to take with the light squared bishop because obviously me having the light squared bishop and him not having it is bad for him. So let's see what he does. He's been playing really quickly up to this point, and the fact that he's taken a breather probably means that he did not expect that. He probably thinks that taking here is dangerous due to this tactic, but it really isn't, because I would immediately need to take back, or else he would get in this massive fork and the game would be over. Yeah, so he's gonna take, and again, I'm gonna take outward. I'm going to take outward and just really see what's about to happen here. I'm already sort of in a position that I am unfamiliar with, which is good. I like being in a new fun position. So let's see what to do here. I really can't imagine that anything else except an e5 break is going to be coming down the line. If I go here, again, attacking this, then I have this move. I think this is a good move to throw in regardless. He's probably going to play this. No, he'll play that. He will play that. What that does, I am none too sure. I can't lie. If I play this, if I play that, he's gonna go here. What happens after that? What happens after that? I don't totally know. It's so unsure that I think that it's just a bad idea. So maybe I just finally go for this f5 move. Maybe I just finally go for the f5 break. Yeah, we're gonna push. As Simon the GM, where I learned this move order from, he calls the f-pawn Freddy. So we're gonna push Freddy to f5. That's what Simon says. I forget his last name. I'm gonna look it up after this because I really should know it. His book called The Iron English is the book where I learned this variation from, and I absolutely love it. All right. I'm not exactly sure what he's thinking about, because other than an obscure tactic like that I'm not seeing. Okay. Sure. If he's planning on taking, that doesn't really work. This is certainly getting pretty, pretty confusing. If I take here, no, I really should not take there because that leaves this pawn just all alone, asking to be eaten. But if I were, he would take in, and then I could like move my bishop here, and I would have this file, but I don't really gain anything if I do that. So I could push this up, just take some space. And yes, actually looking at it, I think that that's what I'm going to do. Again, further restrict his light squared bishop, keeping it in the corner of the board, locking him in there with this bastion of light squared pawns. If he plays a6, I will play a4, just further locking this up. All right. He gets this in. I really don't know what he's up to. I really have no idea. These pieces are looking at each other now, though. Something to keep in mind. I don't really want to take it. I'll be honest. I don't want to take that. Here, 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 here. I always have this, so the fact that his queen is there. I'm going to play this, which might be a risky move, but I don't really care. Again, I'm just trying to bait him to play something like this. Really what I want him to do. Actually, he'll never do that now. He'll more than likely play e6 if he is forced. Let's play it out what happens if he plays e6. I would take. He'd probably take back. I would take, take, take. Locking his bishop out of the game. I would have a passed pawn there. Oh, but it would be like an isolated queen's passed pawn. That just looks far too ugly for my taste. What happens if he plays this? I take, he takes, I take, he goes here. That doesn't really work because he would go down a full piece. So he's really quite, jammed. All right, he's gonna go ahead and just take my pawn, or my bishop. So all of that is really a moot point. Is it better to take with the queen, kind of having this look right here? I don't think so. I think I'm rather just gonna double the rooks at some point on that e file because there's just so much pressure coming down on this e pawn. Yeah, so he's gonna go for it now. All the same logic still remains to what I just said a second ago, so I think it's okay. And I think I'm just winning a rook here, no? I'm gonna go. No, see, he has that. Sure. But I think I can just push this now. Can I not just push that? I mean, of course he has this move, but it looks to me like I'm just winning a piece there. Okay, he goes for that. What does that really do? I'm not 100% sure. Is he gonna like throw this in? No, that wouldn't make any sense. So I'm just gonna go here, and he resigns. All right. Extremely successful game. I would say that was awesome. Let's go again. Well, first let's review. Let's see how we did. I feel like I played pretty well there. I played with 85% accuracy. The engine rated it at 2150. Not half bad. It looks like I held control for most of the game. Did not have any blunders. I did have some inaccuracies, but I had 2 misses. What were my misses? Yeah, so it wanted me to play this. It wanted me to play that. It doesn't give me a massive advantage over what I had. This is 0.5. This is 1.3. You guys can't see the eval, but I think I'm honestly happy with what I played. I stuck to my guns. I stuck to what I knew, and I'm happy with what I did.